What is going on, you guys? It is Sheareid back with another video. This, as you can see, is a Friday the 13th video. I have been doing some Black Ops 3 videos, so I wanted to get back to the Friday the 13th. And I'm sorry for you Friday the 13th lovers, but here it is. It's back. Hopefully it's big. Got a good video in store for you today, so here you go. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, leave a like. I got a link in the description, so if you got a PS4 or Xbox, definitely go check out that link. It is fatalgrips.com. Use code Sheareid at checkout for 10% off. Alright, so today we're going to be covering, as you can see by the thumbnail and title, what does stalk do and like how to use it the most effective way. So, I got a question on one of my posts. Here it is. I have a handle on all my Jason abilities except for this one. The world seems to go a bit gray and the background audio gets louder, but I can't seem to figure out how it benefits you. Is it a stealth skill, a combat skill? Does it help track counselors? And if so, how is it better than Sense? Well, what I know about stalk is it basically eliminates you from the map. So like that red blotch that comes up, if you're a counselor, you can see Jason nearby. You can't really hear them. The fear level is high, but it doesn't get higher. Like, you can't, like when you hear Jason, your fear level goes high. Like even if you're not looking at Jason, you like the game just noses around. So then it gets your fear level high. You just like stay still. So what I see a lot of people do when they are using their stalk is like you hide around doors and wait for people to come out. Like, so when they come out, they won't be able to see you, and then you can just pick them up. So, in this case, Jason Part 3, as you can see, the weakness is stalk, so I'm assuming that is, like, the length of the stalk is not as good. So, good stalk averages between 2 and 3 minutes, so, like, this one would be, like, maybe a 2-minute stalk, and the one I love to use is Part 9. This is probably, like, a more of a 3-minute stalk. His strength is stalk. I love using him because his stalk is so good. So, I've got 7 tips coming up for you guys on how to use stalk most effectively, like what to combo it with, what everything else you should do with it, and stuff like that. So, alright guys, so before I get started, I'm going to say that there was a few 7 tips videos in the past, and if you missed those, definitely go check them out, because they've done the best on my channel. So, they're definitely big hits. Go check them out. Link will be in the description. So let's get this started with. Okay, for tip number 1, I was unable to get any Jason gameplay because stalk is one of the last abilities that you get. The last ability that you get, so it takes a little time to get it. And I just kill the counselors too fast, so I never get to use stalk. But for the good counselors that tend to get away from me a little bit, the stalk comes in play big time, but not against these poor counselors that I've been playing recently, so I'm just going to be using some other gameplay, and then give you some tips over that. So, tip number 1. This is the biggest tip, even though the tips aren't in any particular order. Number 1 is the biggest tip because you need to know this before you do anything else involving stalking. So, number 1, use your stalk when you're near the players, but not next to the players. So, this means, like, in this case, if you see the girl, if you are chasing her, you probably don't want to use your stalk ability because she knows that you're around her. She's already got a lot of fear. She can hear your music, and applying the stalk ability will just immediately know, like, the music will shut off for her, and she'll know, oh, he applied the stalk ability, and I'm probably gonna hide in this house until further notice. In this case, I'd probably use the stalk around 3 to 4 houses away, and then just look around, and once you see someone, hide around windows, doors, and stuff like that. But make sure that you're around the player, but not close. So, tip number 2 is to use with your sense. So, in this case, if I was Jason, I was hiding around the cabin, and I was already in stalk. The counselor didn't know I was there. I'd use my my sense ability to, like, make sure that the counselor isn't leaving the house, or doing anything crazy inside the house. So, like, if I'm sitting around outside of a house, I'm waiting, I hit my sensibility, oh, and I see the counselor is still in the house, so I wait a little bit, hit the sensibility, and then I see she's hopping out of the house, so then I'm going to shift over there and kill the counselor. Tip number 3 is to conserve the sense. So what I mean by this is there's no need to hold the sense down, waste all of its ability, just to watch the counselor move around a little bit. Just tap the sense and then tap off the sense. So hit your sense ability, get a good sense of where they are, unuse this sensibility so you're not draining the battery of it, and you also know where the player is. So then it'll take around 5 seconds to regen. Quickly use it again, see if that player's moved, where they've gone, and then just untap it and then chase the player. So I would call this conserving your sensibility. Tip number 3 is to be a good stalker, you have to place traps. So if I was going to stalk this player right here, I'd probably sit around the outside, go up to the doors, the exits, and I would put some traps on this side of the house. So if this player wants to make a run for it outside and they want to go to this side of the house, then they're going to run into a trap. Otherwise, I'd stay on the other side of the house, so the player either runs into my traps or runs into me unknowingly. So either way, they have no idea that I'm there. They're either going to run into my trap or into me. This is a big underrated part, because you have plenty of time stalking someone because they've got no idea you're there. And you might as well place some traps around doors, windows, and stuff like that. Tip number 5 is to hide around your corners. So in this case, I would hide around a cabin door, so then right as the player comes out, I can immediately grab them or hit them, depending on what type of chasing you are. You can hide in like little dark corners and then wait for your counselor to come out. Also in this category, I have stalk and check if there's any doors open. So you can check if there's a door open under stalk. If someone's like opening drawers, you can sneak in if there's a door open, hide behind a little wall so you're now in the house. There is absolutely no way the counselor knows you're there, and they're pretty much screwed. Tip number 6 is to combine your abilities, like combining your shift and your stalk. So if I was chasing this player, Big Steve 126, I would use my Jason's stalk ability, and then I would shift over here so this player has no idea, and then all of a sudden I pop up right outside the door, and then they start panicking, and hopefully they've got a pocket knife so they can stay alive. But this also works if you stalk and then shift around. So if you're on the other side of the building and your counselor is hopping outside of the window on the opposite side, you just pop the shift along with the stalk, and you can shift around to the side and surprise the counselor with a grab or a swat. Finally, tip number 7 is to use a better Jason. So like I said in the intro, there's a few Jasons that weaknesses are stalk, and that typically means it's around 2 minutes of a stalk. And there's also stronger Jasons, like part 9, I want to say, he's got a very good shift, which is around a 3-minute stalk. I meant to say stalk back there. So, personally, I think that stalk is the best ability in the game. If it gets, you get stalked the last ability, so it's gonna help you take down the tough counselors that you've been unable to find, and the tough counselors that are looking for that last part. So stalk is definitely the best ability in my opinion, and getting a good Jason and learning how to be good at using the stalk is very, very important. So if you found this video helpful, leave a like, subscribe for more sensitive videos. I'm going to come out with a video later this week on how to shift grab. That's a big question I get a lot, so that'll be a good video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.